Hey, lady, what's going on?
Not too much. Ready to get into this topic. You wanna
Okay.
how was your Thanksgiving weekend and holiday weekend? We took Sunday off, so we're back with a very interesting topic tonight. But first off, Danny, how was your Thanksgiving?
It was really great. I was in Atlanta for the weekend.
Yeah.
I celebrated my 40th birthday over the week.
Yes, child.
Yes, so I ended up going to dinner with some of my best friends. We've been friends for since junior high, and we went to dinner, had some drinks, had a lot of fun. It was a good time. It was a real good time.
Yes. Oh my
So
gosh.
yeah, and then we got a chance to meet over the weekend,
We
so
sure did.
that was pretty exciting.
Yeah. It was fun, child.
Yeah.
Um,
So how was yours?
Mine's was really good. It was busy. I just always feel like there are not enough hours in a day. So I was doing a whole lot because I cooked, and my daughters came over. And it was just me and my daughters and my fiance, but I always overdo it. So I cooked a bunch of stuff and I was just kind of exhausted. And then I'm always feeling like, there's not enough hours in a day. So after that, I was tired and had to go to work the next day. And it's just always a million things to do. But it was fun nonetheless. I enjoyed it. It was awesome.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's good to hear. Good to hear. So let's get into the topic.
Let's do it. So you want to introduce it and then we'll actually read the post that the topic derived from.
Sure. So I kind of thought about this, we're in the manosphere, and so the men here kind of feel like they're the prize. And so I'm like, okay, so the men think they're the prize, and then I got to thinking about the women, and I'm saying like, well, will women actually compete to be with these men? And
Mm.
so I ended up running across the post. And do you have the post available?
Yeah, you want me to read it?
Yes, please.
Okay, so the post reads as follows. Dating is a competition. I often hear women say they're not competing for a man, but whether or not you realize it or refuse to acknowledge it, you are. Statistically, for every 100 black women, there's only 85 black men. Out of 85 men, by the time you eliminate the gay men that's incarcerated, you're left with two groups: undateable and marriage material. Now you're down to about 20 black men for every 100 black women. There are many things that makes a guy undateable. So I'll focus on the ones that are marriage material. Of that small percentage that are marriage material, smart, attractive, employed, no serious red flags, faithful, etc., a man whose marriage material has 100 black women to choose from. That number increases exponentially if he dates women outside of his race. So, yes, you are competing. You're competing with women older than you and younger than you. You're competing with women who are fit and work out daily. You're competing with women who are attractive. You're competing with women who are educated and independent. You're competing with women who are sexually uninhibited. That old school rule of dating, I'm going to wait until he approaches me, needs to be rethought. If an eligible man has 100 plus women to choose from, you cannot sit back and wait for him to notice you because that may never happen. Showing a guy interest is not thirsty. Honestly, guys don't pick up on clues, hints, and signals, and especially signals. You have to tell them you're interested. Stop being afraid to make the first move. You never know what can blossom from a smile or a hello. So, you want to start us off because that was a pretty interesting post. She said a lot in there, but that was a pretty interesting post. What are your immediate thoughts, I guess, or what were your immediate thoughts after reading that?
Okay. And so you get to thinking about the things that the men in the manosphere say about Black women typically. And so we have attitudes, we're overweight, we're mean,
Mm-hmm.
um, we're single mothers.
Mm-hmm.
And I think about all the bad things that Black men say about Black women, right? And so then I'm thinking like, because my immediate thought is I ain't competing for no damn man. Like,
Right.
child, do you know who the fuck I am? And so my immediate thought was, oh hell no.
Mm-hmm.
But then I really thought about it, like if you want a good guy, if you really want a good guy that's making six figures, that's fit, that looks
Mm-hmm.
decent, drives a nice car, has his credit together, has a house. I really got to wondering, and I'm like, well, is chemistry something that can be manufactured? Because you do start off with initial attraction to a person. Like you see somebody, you're attracted to them, they may be attracted to you. When exactly would you start competing? Like, how does the competition work?
So I'm thinking based on what she's saying, based on the post, I think she's saying you're competing out the gate. You're competing to even make it to the stage where he approaches you to ask for a date, which is why you shouldn't be opposed to approaching men if you are interested because it's a competition. I think she means when you step out your house, you're
It's a
competing.
competition. Okay.
Yeah.
So do you feel like you've ever competed for a man before?
Now that's interesting. My immediate thought was similar to yours. I'm like competing, like please, kind of thing. But when I think about it, I think that I've generally gotten the men that I wanted. And I didn't have to do a whole lot to get them, meaning I didn't have to go out of my way or approach them. But when I think about it, you know, when in hindsight, I do think that it was somewhat of a competition, so to speak. And I think the best woman won out. I do think that in a way there is some competition. But I think that the competition doesn't even end when you get him. Like in the competition continues. Like you need to maintain him. You need to maintain whatever it is that drew him towards you. So in a way, it is a competition. And I never looked at it like that prior to just kind of analyzing what she was saying in her posts. But
Yeah.
yes, in a way, it is.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. We're talking
Mm-hmm.
about the women, but then let me just ask you this. So
Mm-hmm.
let's just say hypothetically, and I'm going to get Curlin's ass in just a minute, y'all. Y'all wait.
He must be down there cutting
A
up.
girl talking big shit in the chat. But so if you meet a guy, and let's just say you're
Mm-hmm.
in the talking phase, like you meet him, y'all are attracted to each other, you find out he's dating other women. Do you stop talking to him?
Well, um, so when I was younger, I was the woman, the young lady who only dated one person at a time because, you know, I am a hopeless romantic, and if I'm digging him, like, why entertain multiple people? But as I became an older, I don't just strictly date one person either. So I wouldn't be, and that's kind of like a protection mechanism for me. Like, so I wouldn't um, feel any type of way that he's dating multiple people. I kind of expect the man to take the lead. So if he's dating multiple people and I'm dating multiple people, unless he is starting to do something that shows that he has a genuine interest in me, and i.e., cutting off other women or trying to take up all of my time, I'm going to go off of his lead. Once he drops his women, then I'll be like
So you don't
going to,
immediately
do the
drop your
same.
hoe?
No,
Good girl, cuz. Have you ever dropped
actually,
all your hoes?
I
It
haven't.
worked
Not
out.
not since I started. Not since I
I'm
started
saying,
dating like
like,
multiple people simultaneously. No.
oh, good.
And that does not mean, you're intimate with multiple people at the same time. It just means that, like you just entertaining. Like there's different level of dating. Some of it may just be very casual. You really just talk, chatting it up with them.
Okay. Okay. Now I would say previously I would have been intimidated by a guy telling me that he was dating like and mind you, you should keep in mind that if you meet somebody that's single nowadays and they're halfway attractive, they're
Mm-hmm.
probably going to be dating other people. But
True.
at one point I remember like if a guy told me that he was dating, just dating and it was no big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Um I would be intimidated by that and I'd be like, well,
Mm-hmm.
no, I don't want to talk to you if you're dating somebody else. And they're like,
Mm-hmm.
well, it's not even that serious. We go out here and there, whatever, whatever. But you just still never want to end up in a situation. So yeah, I would run.
Yeah, I used to do that too. Well, like I used to try to control the narrative. So it would be like, if you date me, you can't date other women type of thing. And that didn't work out in my favor. So I'm like, okay, well, two could play this game. So I started to date other people. But when a man is dating other women while dating me, or if I'm dating other men while I'm dating him, then it's not serious. Like, it's not serious to me. Like, so I'm not going to get emotionally invested while you still have other women that you're dating. And I would advise you not to do the same. If I'm still dating other people, like, once the people who you're associating with get cut off, then to me that's when it's serious, and that's when it's okay for me to start to get emotionally invested into something with a person.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, let me tell you this story about Curlin and I, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Curlin and I had started talking, but we were still kind of in a talking phase.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess social media was tripping. He texted me, or it actually was T-Mobile. He texted me, I text him. Neither one of us got the text. So neither one of us responded, or we couldn't respond or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And so we stopped talking for a month, right? And so I had a
Mm-hmm.
friend that was telling me, like, girl, you should call him. You should call him. And I'm like, I'm not fucking calling him. He needs to call me. I text him. He didn't respond. I don't chase niggas. I'm fat. I'm tired. I don't chase. Right. So we were, I used to have another broadcast. And so he would still come to the broadcast or whatever. And so we would end up talking on the broadcast. And so I'm like, why would you come over to this space? Like, what you want? You know what I'm saying? That's what I was thinking about. What you want? What you doing?
Mm-hmm.
So we ended up talking and I ended up hitting him up behind the scenes. And so we ended up messaging back and forth. And so I did end up calling him, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I call him and he tells me, he had started talking to some other chicks and that he had a
Mm-hmm.
bench and I can come from the bench or some shit. And I'm like, Curly got me all the way from
He
all
tried it.
girl. I was like, oh really?
Mm-hmm.
Girl. It's like Curly don't want these. He don't want to do this.
He said you could come off the bench.
Girl, I was like, does he know who the fuck
He was
I
gonna put you in the game. He was gonna put you in the game.
Baby, I'm a coach. I don't play the bench. Like, what is that? Girl,
You
yeah.
better tell him.
But yeah, girl, Carla thought I was gonna do it. I was like, baby.
Yeah, that's not.
Uh-oh. Can y'all still hear us? Because Concrete, you went out. So hold on. I'm gonna getting ready to drop the link in the chat. And I thought you thought I was playing. Yeah, Carlin, I thought you was playing. Child wasn't about to come. I ain't gonna say what I would have did or wouldn't do, but honey, I wasn't coming off no bench. That's all I can say about that. I wasn't coming off no bench. Like, what you think this is? Anyhow, let me. Uh-oh. Okay, Concrete disappeared on us. I'm sure she'll be back. And I'll drop the link in the chat just in case anybody wanted to come up and talk to us, see what's going on. Also, I want to give a shout out to Maurice November. for the Cash App. That's our first Cash App, y'all. So,
Woo woo.
ow.
Can
Yeah,
you hear
girl.
me, Danny?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. So you said something interesting that I did want to piggyback off of. You
Hmm.
said something about you were touching on like quality men. Now,
Yes.
I do have to say that I think that it is stiffer competition with quality men. Like I didn't realize until I got with a man who was high quality that their demands, that the competition for them is stiffer. That they'll have women in their past who realize that, "Ooh, I ain't gonna ever meet one like him." You know what I mean? And they're still hanging in the wings, hoping that drop the ball. So I
Right.
do think that maintaining a relationship with a quality man, because of the fact that they have higher standards, is a little more difficult. And I think that the competition to win over a quality man is a little stiffer. They're going to have more options. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Just being
way more.
real.
Way more. Okay, so do you ever think that it's demeaning for a woman to compete? Like, you think about the man in question, right? And let's say he's a nice looking successful man, right?
Hmm.
And he has, let's just say, and three is a low number these days for these types of men, right? But let's just say he has three women coming over, they're cooking for him, they're cleaning for him,
Hmm. Hmm.
doing God knows what in the bedroom,
Hmm.
just excited. And I kind of feel like it's really demeaning for the woman, because at the end of the day, I kind of feel like if a man wants you, he's not really going to play any games. He's going to come
Hmm.
and get you. So, what do you think about that?
So for me personally, see, I'm not with all the like, I can't be in direct competition with other women, like, and try to go out of my way to win you over. Like, I'm only going to be me. The only way I'm going to win you over is by being me. Like, you have to genuinely like me for who I am, because I'm not going to, like, I'm naturally nurturing. I'm, naturally submissive to when I'm in a relationship to, to a man who is leading, who has proved, is a proven leader. But other than that, like, I'm not, doing nothing extra outside of who I am as a woman. So if who I am as a woman wins you over, like if I can win you over naturally, great. But I'm not like jumping through hoops, paying for vacation. I'm not doing extra stuff. I'm not going and taking pole dancing classes and all that type of stuff to win you over, because that's just not who I am. Like, I gotta be able to win you over naturally. If I can, then great.
Now, my real question would be to the men,
Hmm.
when they've dated multiple women at the same time, did they end up choosing one of those women to really be with? Because I don't know, and I've never, I don't know a lot of guys who've chosen those girls. Usually, when they want somebody, they want them and they go actively get those girls. So I'm really kind of curious about that.
Right. That's a good question. And similar in line to that, I wonder if men are turned off by women who are doing too much to win them over almost. You know what I mean? Like a woman who just doing too much, trying to convince you. And it's almost like she's not being her natural self. So if men are turned off by that, and I also have a question for you.
Hmm.
Did you think those numbers were pretty skewed? Because she was saying that there's only 20 black men 20 good black men essentially to choose from. 20 black men who are marriage material. So to choose from. What do you think about the stats that she was given?
She did say they made six figures, right?
She said, well, she was given like examples. She didn't say they had to, but she said that the 20 percent of the black men who are smart, attractive, employed, no serious red flags, faithful, etc.
Oh yeah, girl, that's about 20. No.
Oh my gosh, I'm not dealing with you. Well, ooh, yeah, if she would have left the faithful off, I might have been like, no, maybe she's lowballing. She had to throw that in there.
Oh Lord, child, obsidian's here. Take a
Oh
deep
my,
breath.
a very deep one.
Okay, I'm adding to.
Go ahead.